check this one out. This one here is lowered on coilovers, and this for me is one of the best looking 124s out there at the moment. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another video, and a pretty chilled out video today. Now, behind me, finally, I can show you guys the A45 AMG alongside one of the Abarth press cars that I've been loaned. And yeah, if you haven't seen the video, by the way, that is my new car. Let me quickly show you that. Yeah, A45 AMG is what replaced the 595 Abarth. I am absolutely in love with this car at the moment. It is so quick and just looks so good. But A45 AMG looks epic. But today's video isn't about the A45. It's about this. It's about the 124 Spider. Now, this is a car that I have been loaned as a kind of short-term interim because Abarth needed the 124 GT back for the weekend. So they've given me this, and obviously the first thing I've done is get the roof down because, well, if there's any glimpse of sun, not even here in the UK, but if there's any glimpse of sun, that is the first thing that you should be doing, is getting the roof down on this. But what I want to talk to you guys about is what would I do, or in terms of modifications, how would I modify this Abarth 124 Spider? So there's a few things that I would definitely would do to this car, and we're going to find that out in a moment. But for now, let's take this for a drive. The power of editing is amazing. Transporting people from stationary into moving vehicles like that. Now, one of the main reasons I really wanted to take this car out in the first place is because obviously, well, it's not the GT, which means it doesn't have the hardtop. And the great thing about the 124 Spider is, of course, the fact that you can do the roof up and down so quickly, but also when the roof is down, you can hear that Monza scream. Oh man, that's incredible. Okay, I'm really hoping you guys can hear me with all the wind noise going on in the background. Fingers crossed. So, the Abarth 124 Spider. Not many people have done too many things to this car from a modification perspective. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I think the first of which is, of course, that it's still relatively new. And secondly, there just aren't that many modifications out there for these cars yet. However, people are starting to tinker. Yeah, for those of you who watch the channel often will know I do a very familiar Borat voice that you might have heard on some sort of films a few years back. But yeah, no, the car is still relatively new when you think about it. It only came out a couple of years back, whereas the 500s have been around since 2009. So there's been a lot more R&D, research and development into the 500s from a mods perspective than there has on the Abarth 124 Spider. God, that sounds so good with the roof down. Flipping out. Yes, cheeky pop out the back of the exhaust. True Abarth character, that is. But no, this car already for me looks spectacular. I love the Spider, I think it looks great. And as I mentioned in the last video on the GT, if you saw it, it took me a little bit of a while to really get to grips with it and to love it. But now I've been in one, I've driven a number of them now. I really do like these cars a lot. And there's a few things that people have done in particular recently to these cars, which makes them even more desirable. The first of which is lowering it. In my opinion, you have to lower this car because for me the car sits so high out the box, which makes it very comfortable, but I just think it, from a looks perspective, you can get so much more if you lower it. And what would you lower it with? Well, check this one out. This one here is lowered on coilovers, and this for me is one of the best looking 124s out there at the moment. It's a guy called Rob, and his car is wrapped in Dubfire red. It's lowered on coilovers, and it also has the OZ wheels on it, which just looks so good. But the coilovers will cost you an arm and a leg. Coilovers always do. You're not going to get a set of coilovers for anything less than about, I don't know, 500 quid minimum. So what have other people done? What would I do? Well, I would get H&R springs. I think they lower the car around about 30 mil, and it makes a significant difference in how the car looks, its stance. I haven't driven one with the springs, but I would assume stiffer springs will make for better handling. It already has the Bilstein coilovers on this car, so really springs is pretty much all you need to do, in my opinion anyway. But as you can see, I'm going to overlay a couple of the cars here from Festival Italia, one of which is Bertie's, one is JT's, and both of these cars are running H&R springs, which means that the car just looks so much better, and I think that for me would be one of the first, if not the first, modification I would do to the 124 Spider. The next one I would probably do is some spacers. I think there's still too much gap between the wheel and the arch when you look at it from the rear. I would definitely put some spacers, maybe 15 mil, 20 mil even, just to give it a bit more stance. Arguably though, that will impact the handling of the car. This car was built at the factory to just handle incredibly, and it does. It handles so well, so you've got to be careful not damaging the handling by putting spacers on it, and unfortunately sometimes that can impact the way the car behaves. From a sound perspective, I think this car is pretty spot on, if I'm honest with you. It sounds so good with the Monza, I'm not sure you really need to do anything else. I mean, I guess the Monza would sound even better as a decap, because this is running the Garrett 1446 turbo, so it's not running the IHI. Probably locked in here with my seatbelt. It's not running the IHI, which means a decatted 1446 isn't going to sound too much like a tractor. It will still sound far too loud in my opinion, particularly with these exhausts. I mean, the Monza is pretty much a straight piped exhaust anyway once the valve opens up. So yeah, from an exhaust perspective, I would probably leave it. I think the Monza, the quad pipes also look good on this car. I don't think you need to change it. Then comes the power question. Loads of people always cry out for the fact that the 124 Spider lacks power. I think it would be more fun with more power. I think 170 bhp out of the box is plenty to have some fun in, but I do think rear wheel drive with an LSD, you could really kick that back end out and have a good laugh. Not that you can't already in this, turn the traction control off and this will get tail happy. But I think anything over 200 horsepower would be bang on for this car. Now, there's a reason that not many people have tuned these cars, and it's because the ECUs at the moment are just so difficult to crack. A lot of the Abarth 124 Spider owners will go to places like the Abarth Punto Collective to ask questions on there about tuning, because the Puntos run the multi-air engine. So there's a couple of similarities between them. But there's a company out in Greece, I can't remember the name of it. They also do tuning, and now people are starting to send their ECUs off to get maps done, which will be interesting. So I'm still yet to drive a 124 Spider that's had a proper tune. I'd be really keen to do so. That roof, with the roof down, sorry, that exhaust sounds sick. Other things I would do more on a cosmetic front for me is I would definitely get a rear boot spoiler. You can get some good ones from 500 Madness over in the States. I think that would really set the car off nicely. The rear diffuser as well, you can get some mental carbon fiber rear diffusers now, which is bonkers. A company out in Japan called 300 do a nice rear diffuser, and they also do a stunning front splitter for the 124 Spider. Now when you start to couple all these modifications together, a front splitter, a rear diffuser, a boot lip, H&R springs, you start to create a pretty special looking car in my opinion. And I think out there at the moment with regards to modified 124 Spiders from an aesthetics perspective, for me, I think Rob's one, the 124 Spider with the white OZ wheels and the Dub Fire red wrap is still one to beat in my opinion. But yeah, so that's what I would do. Lower it on springs, rear diffuser, rear wing-ish lip, front splitter, and a remap if possible. I'd keep the exhaust because I think that sounds mega. Anyway, guys, that's it. I'm blabbering a bit, but I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What would you do to an Abarth 124 Spider if you had one from a modification standpoint? And in fact, this is a really weird feeling right now. I've just parked up in the same road that I filmed my modifications video for my 500 about a year and a half ago. Yeah, that's crazy. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.